Being a part of the LGBT community, there is a lot of pressure members of the community can face in their day-to-day lives. From being judged by society and their peers, to even being mocked and ridiculed by homophobes. The hardest and biggest milestone they need to overcome is the process of coming out. This phase is an exclusive to the LGBT community, and to understand the process, this documentary will dive into the lives of those who have experienced coming out of the closet and what it's like to.
I'm Anthony Villanueva, and I identify as gay.
My name is Revan. I am gay.
My name is Alexis, and I identify as a gay woman.
My name is Jose. I would identify myself as not a middle age, but like a senior gay man.
My name is Amari Cunningham, and I identify as bisexual.
Coming out to me is like the easiest way for me to show how much I love and trust somebody. It's like me letting them into my life, letting them into like my circle, and kind of just me putting my whole trust in somebody.
Coming out doesn't mean a damn thing to me. But no. I mean, it's not. I don't think it's important. I mean, it's important to some people. It wasn't important to me. Coming out for me, I'm very blunt again. It's antiquated. It's outdated. It's dumb. I wish it didn't exist, because like the only reason that we do it is because it breaks the societal norm that we like hold as, right. And everybody who's not right is deviating, so they need to like tell the world that, I'm deviating from the societal norm.
Coming out means a lot. It means like you're actually free. You're not sheltered anymore like you used to back in my days. Back when I was in my 20s, 18s, it was so hard for that. Now it's so open. It's coming out more and more freedom for young kids, and I see that now. It's I'm here. I see a lot of young people, and that's good. That's a strong message, saying you know what, kids are not coming out. Young people are coming out. Not before we were so sheltered like back in my days. We had to hide and keep it real discreet. Now I see a lot of young people coming out here. I mean, it's good. It's good.
Coming out to me is just the final step in becoming who you truly are inside, or you thought you are for a while. So yeah, it's an important step. It's just that final solidifying of what you are as a person.
Coming out to me means just like being comfortable with who you are in public. So in public spaces, just being able to express yourself however you see fit. And to me, I think that's very important, just being able to be your full self wherever you are.
Elby Van Denberg, the writer of The Closet, A Dangerous Heteronormative Space, she considers the perspectives of the closet as an assimilist and a liberalist position, and that neither of these ideas are adequate strategy for understanding coming out. She argues that coming out is a way to control or even monitor the LGBT community. Others argue, like Solomon, the writer of Coming Out Again, exploring GLBQ individuals' communication with their parents after their first coming out, which focused on the stress of coming out and the growth that related to it. They argue that coming out can help people identify and even reduce stress in their life. They discovered that as the years go by and the longer someone's been out, the less stress they feel, but those who are younger feel more anger and or stressed about coming out and feel that it is not needed.
Yes, I'm out to everybody besides my grandparents because they're Hispanic and very conservative.
I am out to pretty much everyone. Actually, yeah, I'm out to pretty much everyone except for like my mom and dad.
Okay, and why aren't you out to your parents?
It's some situations that happened in like high school that I'm not gonna get into on that, but
Yeah, you don't have to answer questions if you don't want to.
Well, it's just one of those things that I don't feel like they have given me the respect to, like I don't feel there's enough respect on between my mom, my parents, and myself to diverge in my like identity and like my lifestyle with them. but I'll do so with anybody else pretty much.
Who's the first person? I'm sorry.
That you told that you were gay?
Actually, I did not tell no one. Towards when I was coming out, I remember my mom. She more or less had an idea that I was gay, and towards her end, she passed away. Towards her end, we talked and we spoke to each other, and she told me about things and all that, and I said, Mama, I'm finally gay. She goes, I knew it all the time. She goes, I really knew it. She goes, but I love you no matter what, you're my son. So she was my first interaction.
First person I told was my best friend in middle school. His name was Eric. I was like, I think we were at a football game. It was like after the football game, and I kind of just told him, and I was like super scared. And then afterwards, he was like, "Oh, it's cool, bro. Let's go get some nachos." And I was like, "Bruh."
Came out to my mom first because I had to, because I had a hickey on me. And she didn't know where it came from, and I knew, and she just coursed it out of me. So that's always a fun story to bring up at the dinner table. And then after that, it was friends and the rest of my family.
I mean, I used to think that nobody knew, but I'm pretty sure, like most people that I went to high school with kind of already figured, and I didn't come out by saying I was out. I just kind of did it naturally.
Mm-hmm.
I would just say gay things and say like queer things and kind of just express myself that way, and then it kind of allowed everybody else to figure out how I identified.
With everybody that I had known for a while and I wasn't out to before, I just told him, like, it was
Personally?
good.
Like,
Yeah.
you just went up to them, told them basically?
Yeah, I just like sit them down when I want to talk to them. Like, hey, gay.
I kind of just slipped it into casual conversation. I wasn't big on like the whole like reveal, like I'm gay. Kind of just, if you picked up on it, you did, and if you didn't, you didn't. So.
I've been out now for 5 years, I think.
5 years?
Yeah. And then to patch my life, I'm more open being LGBTQ. I'm part of organizations on campus that help with LGBTQ. And yeah, I'm just more gay.
I've been out for about, how long? For like 4 years, I think? So 4 years, yeah. And what was the second part?
How's it impacted your life?
How has it impacted my life? It's allowed me to be like my full self out in public. It just made me more comfortable with who I am and made me a lot more confident.
I've been out since I was 18 years old. And impacted me, it's like, this is what I am. And this is who I'm going to be for the rest of my life. You know, it's not going to change. I'm not going to have that say I'm someone else, but I'm not. This is me now. This is me.
And once you came out, you were able to be more free and express?
Yes, more. You know, the good thing, I had a lot of support from my family once I came out. I was blessed to have good family members. My siblings are like, okay, you are what you are, and I love you. So I was one of the lucky ones to say I was supported from my family. Unfortunately, other people are not. They're not.
Where I grew up was like it's super country. It's super, everybody knows everybody. It's very like, I wouldn't say backwoods and I wouldn't say redneck, but it's very like, it's very South Texas, if you know what I mean. Like, and so there was that fear of like, oh, how are like these like ranch people and like these farmers' kids, like how are they gonna like, what's gonna happen? What are they gonna say? And I was really thankful that pretty much everyone that I went to high school with that I ended up coming out to either didn't care or were super supportive about it. And I've kind of found a good support system everywhere that I've gone, and which has really bolstered like how I respond to everybody and how I fit in wherever I'm at. Culturally, I mean, I know that like in Latino culture there's like a big like like push for like machismoism and like, you know, you have to be like a manly man and whatnot. And I was thankful that like, at least even in my household, that wasn't too much of a factor growing up. Like you were expected to, you know, be super macho, but not as macho as maybe somebody else's family might have wanted them to be. Which was all right. It was pretty cool about that.
It's mostly just strangers. You never know how they're gonna react. You don't know if they're gonna approve or cuss you out or be mean to you because you aren't what they consider the normal.
So just only strangers, no one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and my grandparents.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, for me personally, no. But for everybody, well, for other people, I mean, like if they come from a different background, it's like not as open or accepting. Or if they like come from a country where it's not okay, then it might impact them differently. They might have to hide it for longer or just like not come out.
Cultural fears, black families tend to be like really religious and really closed-minded to like anything that's like different. So just that closed-mindedness, I think in a lot of communities actually was very hard to just overcome. But my family is pretty supportive in lots of things that I do, so I'm pretty lucky.
Well, again, the culture, Hispanics especially, the Hispanic Mexican men, the real machismos are very, you know, and I see that still continues now. Like, let me give you an example. I have a little nephew, he's around 4 or 5, and my brother-in-law, he's like very machismo, very like, oh, don't run like that. I say, no, it is what it is. It is what it is. And fortunately, my niece, he is what he is, and that's gonna be him. So, and I still feel that machismo still exists in our culture, especially Hispanics, because we carry that machismo thing like the Hispanics do that.
I mean, it's just not considered the norm. It probably never will be, but if it ever is considered the norm, people won't have to really come out as gay. They'll be like, oh, I'm dating this person, whoever they identify as.
So you think that one day people will just be able to like bring home someone and be like, this is who I'm dating, and there will be no question of like, are they straight, are they gay, or whatever?
Hopefully, but it's gonna take a while for us to get there.
I mean, Cuttermix is our own secret club, you know? It's like, coming out is definitely a difficult thing, but it's also like, you can also kind of use it as like a gatekeep for who you trust and who you can emotionally invest in. I mean, straight people don't have to come out to people. They don't have to experience the pain, the rejection, the fear, the anxiety that comes with it. But they also don't get that same joy whenever they find somebody who is, you know, accepting of them. They don't have to deal with like, or they don't get to experience like what pride means to like a queer person versus like what pride means to like a hetero person, like going out there and seeing other people living their life and being their true selves, and you yourself embracing that truth. And in a lot of ways, it's like a double-edged sword. There's some good things, there's some bad things. But I still see it as kind of I see it as a neutral.
When I was younger, it didn't really bother me that much because I was like, well, we're different, so we have to do it. But then getting older, I realized I'm still not mad about it, and I think it's important that we do have people that do come out publicly, but I do sometimes wish that we didn't really have to, and that people didn't assume that you were straight just looking at you.
Or, you know, to let the society know that we're here, and this is not going to change. It's what we are. This is who, you know, we're going to be no matter what. Accept us no matter what. You know, so it's not never going to go away. It's here to stay. People accept us. It's just we're just different people. You know, but we're all humans. You know, it's love is love.
Definitely be a safer place for, not like really for myself, because I'm like gay and I present male and identify as male, so it's not that hard for me as it is for other people. But like trans people, that would help out a lot because they're constantly like targeted for like insults. They're not as accepted yet.
Mm-hmm.
You would definitely probably see a big boister in LGBTQ folks. I mean, there's already a lot of us out there. Not everybody wants to come out or needs to come out. If it was more accepting to just kind of be yourself without having to make like a grand show of it or having to like purposely like come out, you would see a lot more people just embracing and like fluidly like assimilating into whatever they want to be, without there needing to be like this sort of like gate of like, oh, I need to tell so and so that I'm coming out as this, and I need to go in here, and I need to do this. It'd be like a more fluid transition into however you wanted to identify as.
I think that it'd be a lot easier, especially for like kids just growing up, they don't really understand their sexuality. They wouldn't have that pressure of feeling different, or like people putting their own ideas onto them. Like, okay, like you're raised and you're strict and you're raised to be straight, but then you figure out that you're not. So it's just really confusing for small children. And then you get older, it just gets harder, and you feel like you have to hide parts of yourself. So I think it would be a lot easier for the youth if you didn't have to come out.
Thank you.
I'm gonna be very blunt here. I don't think people have to come out. I didn't. I just was kind of like, I'm here. I don't know if I ever like said it out loud. I never made a big deal out of it either. But that's because I was raised where it like wasn't a big deal. I don't like that there's this emphasis to like, oh, you have to come out. You have to like say what your sexuality is. If it doesn't meet the like societal norm. I think that's rude and that's cruel, and there shouldn't be an emphasis on it, but there is, and I think it's dumb. I think it's stupid.
No. I think they should come out. It makes it easier. Word it out. It's much easier. So they can expose and say, this is who we are, you know, and this we're gonna stay here, you know. I mean, because if you don't say anything, it's like being sheltered again, being in the closet again, and we don't want that. We don't want that. So we're coming out and giving out your work, your opinions, coming out. That's what we need.
After interviewing 5 different individuals, we were able to get a glimpse of how different people feel about coming out and their experiences. Some common themes that we have found throughout their interviews included that by coming out, they feel they are able to be more of themselves freely. The idea that members of the LGBT community have to come out shows that society continues to make assumptions of people and their sexuality, as well as recognizing that there are still things which make coming out difficult, such as culture and religion. We were able to primarily interview younger college-age members of the LGBT community, but we were also able to interview an older gentleman who identifies as gay. For most of the people interviewed, they explained that for them, coming out means to be honest and free to be yourself, especially in the public and around others. At 57 years old, he felt it was necessary to hide who he was from the world, so when he finally came out to his mother, he began coming out to the world around him. He mentioned that he feels the need to inform those around him that he is gay as a way to inform people of the LGBT plus community, especially youth. He believed that coming out to those around you, even more so to youth, that you can begin to open people's minds so that they may begin to be more accepting. On the other hand, one girl who was interviewed felt that coming out has more importance placed on it than it's needed.